Heard the Black Dev Beacon devs responded. I looked a little bit into that, but I am curious, is there a way to fix it at this point?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. So about last night, I think around like 12 a.m., which is usually when CN Gotcha companies drop their news,
Yeah.
Black Beacon put out an official apology that didn't just come from the development team, but actually two different publishers, the global and CN publishers, as well as the developer combined, all put their endorsement into this apology letter, which I think is quite fascinating and reveals a bit of news if we take it at face value. And it honestly,
The problem is that apologies like this that only come after severe backlash and not like frame one, usually disingenuous. And they're only usually doing it because they think that they fucking have to. So that's why, for me, I think it's a little bit too late.
makes a lot of sense when you look at this stuff. So I'm willing to buy what they put out. There's no reason not to. If you go and do your due diligence, these companies are in fact behind the developer. So it makes sense. Anyways, my goal here is to just break down what they said, explain it in layman's terms, and then share my thoughts on this whole situation, taking into consideration the community sentiments, the people who are coming back to the game, the people who are not giving it a second chance, people who are on the fence. I just want to share my thoughts in a very rational manner, as I always strive to do, so that you guys can kind of see from an adult perspective how this all looks. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, dear Seers, we want to begin, all right, that's important, with a sincere acknowledgement that your voices have been heard, and we take your feedback seriously. All right, that's a good start. It really is. Off the rip, let me let you know, we heard you, and we acknowledge it. Following the launch of Black Beacon...
We were talking to you for quite a bit, so why did it take you so long to hear it? Because we were yapping away for a long time, so what changed, brother?
China on April 28th. Oh, so that was the date. So it came out April 10th in global. It came out in China over 2 weeks ago. Okay, damn. Or over 2 weeks later. Interesting. Okay. We received strong feedback from our global community regarding differences in compensation between regions. That's such a funny ass PR way to put it, bro. Strong feedback. All I think about is those middle fingers in the announcement section of their Discord on every post that they upload, bro. We understand your frustration, and we deeply regret that the confusion and concern this has caused. Black Beacon...
I don't think it caused any confusion, man. I think it caused absolute clarity.
...is developed by Ming Zhao Studio. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. So that's the developer, Ming Zhao Studio, and published separately, very important information right here, across regions by Gloho for the global service. Let's stop right here. If this is to be taken as factual, then these would be the guys who have fucked you. It would be Gloho.
Okay.
And Tian City for China. Tian City would be the Chinese publisher that actually gave China the 5-star selector, the 20 limited pools, so on and so forth. Okay. Due to this structure, each region addressed its launch independently. Now, I find this funny because they 100% are snitching on the global publisher team. While the circumstances and...
The reason why I don't really buy into this is because publishers have to get the okay from all parties involved before they push anything. Like, there's so many different, like, ladders they have to go through before they can push anything to live, to where I just feel like this is completely disingenuous.
Responses may have deferred. We recognize that the significant rewards issued during the China server launch caused many global players to feel a sense of relative deprivation and disappointment. That was never our intention, and we take these concerns seriously. This is actually really good, because they're just outright owning it. Now, again, I do think they were put in a predicament where they don't have the choice. They can't strong arm because, like I told you, they ain't got the juice like that. They just simply don't. You know what I mean? Hoyoverse can strong arm because they have already grabbed their community comfortably by the balls and convinced them that they're beating their meats and giving them blowjobs when they're not. Yeah, hell of an analogy there, but I think you get what I mean. We want to be clear. This is not an attempt to shift responsibility. I'm gonna be honest. The minute you laid out the information that Gloho is the global service and Tian City is the China publisher, you did that. You shifted the responsibility because it all points in one direction.
Absolutely, that's fair.
Global publisher Gloho is in charge of...
Yeah, and I don't believe this. I think this is completely disingenuous. I think this is manipulative language. I think these BBC devs, I think they're fucking scum, straight up.
Dishing out the rewards.
I'll be real. I don't know why anybody would play this shit when Ethereum restart's coming out so soon. Fuck them. They are doing anything in their power to make it seem like, oh, we didn't know. Yes, you fucking did. Like, you think the publishers don't need to get the okay? Like, shut the fuck up.
Handling the communication and being that middleman for feedback between the consumer and developer, then they are 1 billion% responsible for all of this shit, because we are taking this as disparity in social classes.
Absolutely.
China and the rest of the goddamn world. When in reality, it's an incompetent Gloho publisher. In my eyes, This is absolutely a shift in responsibility. If
Yep.
I were them, I'd shift the responsibility too.
Yep.
Especially if Gloho agreed to it. I would shift the shit out of that responsibility.
Yeah, because absolutely. Like, I mean, anybody wants a scapegoat, but that's being said, it's still just completely disingenuous, but it is the proper play.
To make sure that people don't think that the developer as well as the Chinese publisher are looking at us like second-class citizens, basically.
Absolutely, 100%. Fuck
It's
that.
a moment for us to learn and do better. To be honest, though, guys, it's entire. This is probably the best fucking excuse they could have possibly have come up with to completely push and wash aside the thought of us being treated
Lie
like
to me,
second-class
BBC.
citizens. I can't think of a better
Lie
excuse.
to me.
I
Tell
really
me
can't.
sweet
Dude,
lies.
I don't really care. I'm really more so concerned with the action and result of what's happening right now before us.
It's just
Having said that,
business.
all three parties, Mingzhou, Gloho, and Tian City, have discussed this matter thoroughly and reached a shared agreement on the following points. Global compensation alignment. I don't have to read all of this. All I'm going to tell you is they're saying all of us came together and said, yes, this needs to happen. And what they ended up doing is they said, we're going to give Global the exact same thing that we gave China. Then they laid this shit out down here to show you the compensation differences in a fine print with factual data saying this was the difference between the China and Global. Global's now going to get that. This was the difference between the remaining things, the 5-star permanent character selection. We're going to give them exactly everything that China got and maybe even more, because what I'm looking at is Global Server got more more Aurelium, it got more fruits, but that's because I think it was out for 2 weeks and 4 days. So any discrepancy you see between Global and CN isn't actually like Global getting taken care of more. It's really more so, I would say, Global being out longer. But this 100% was one of the most important things to consider. And now they're making it an equivalent exchange between both sides of the hemisphere. They added more on top of this. By the way, it is available. By the time that you see this video, it is available for you to log into Black Beacon to get this stuff right now.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Not telling you need to, just land.
And I'll be real, like, even if I could, I wouldn't, because they still don't have a fucking PC client. But second of all, if they've done this once, guys, they're gonna do it again. If they've done it once, they're gonna do it again. And I think this shit is crazy.
And that information out. On top of that, they said gratitude reward.
Like, it's one thing to give your players lackluster rewards. It's another thing to give your players lackluster rewards on one server and then great rewards on another. And to even humor the sentiment of, we hear you, we can't believe you didn't like it. Bitch, how the f did you think I was gonna want that shit regardless? Somebody okayed that shit. Absolutely not.
As a gesture of sincere appreciation for your continued patience and support, all players across regions will receive additional rewards in addition to compensation above. This is going to be lost time key times 5 and time seeking key times 5. That's 5 standards, 5 limited pulls. So they gave 5 of both of them on top of a 5-star selector and 20 limited banner pulls. So in total, you got 25 limited banner pulls. Immediate too, like no questions asked. That's actually substantial, guys. I'm gonna be honest, especially with a game with a monetization model as free to play friendly as theirs. Being objective here. Now, you have until May 6th, which is today, till May 30th to claim those rewards. That's a lot of time. It's not like 2 days or 3 days like they did apparently with the very
Gotcha game companies cannot afford to fuck up like this anymore in 2025 due to the fact that the competition in mass is harder than it's ever been. Genshin, Zenless, Honkai, Honkai back third, Wuthering Waves, Limbus, Wizardry, fuck it, Naruto Mobile, Ananta, Arknights Enfield, Etheria Restart, Azure Stellar. There is no room for error because if one of these companies fucks up, they'll just play something else. And so these misplays simply cannot happen.
very first time they
Absolutely
fucked
not,
up,
because they will go somewhere else.
2 days later. Yeah, I think they learned their lesson on that one too, because you got plenty of time there. Let's continue on. Cross-regional coordination, stronger publishing collaboration. All right. So all 3 parties have agreed to share communication protocol across publishing partners to prevent a similar misalignment in the future. To prevent the fuck up again, they're now all in synchronization. Well, be honest, I feel like that should have. I mean, I'm not going to say the obvious. We all know that should have been the get-go. But
Absolutely.
who knows, boys? Companies are a conglomerate of a plethora of suits. That's the best way to put it. Then you have the developer who's just,
And also, if they were to fuck up to where they weren't all on the same page at the beginning, I just deem them as incompetent, and the gross amount of negligence they've shown towards their players is appalling.
like in the lab cooking the whole time, right? Maybe they're amateurs, maybe they're not. I'm not sure. Faster response and communication. We recognize that our initial response took too long. To address this, we are establishing a dedicated team focused on improving the speed and clarity of official updates moving forward. Looking forward, we appreciate your continued support. We know the situation is shaken trust, and we don't take that lightly. Trust is not restored through words alone, but through consistent action. It's a hell of an apology. Good PR guy. We're committed to transparency, cross-region fairness, and creating a more unified experience for seers around the world. Thank you for holding us accountable. I'm gonna be honest, boys. This is a W fucking apology. It is. This is a W apology. Okay, so now I want to share my honest thoughts on the whole situation. Firstly, the publisher for Global, Glowho, completely shit the bed in a way that is kind of like irreparable for a lot of people. They aren't just looking at Glowho, right? Now, in a rational sense, you can look at business and go, that's their fault. But the consumer, the public, the masses, they're just going to say Black Beacon bad and move on.
Yeah, true.
But there's also a lot of people in this space that go, hey, man, you know what? That was a good apology. I believe in second chances, and they're going to continue playing your game. Now, what I personally think is that you guys just let the mask slip a bit. And I'm a firm believer that all gacha companies, if you remove the mask, you all look the same.
Yeah.
I think you guys, some of you do a better job with hiding it. Some of you are a bit more tactful, a bit more cunning with convincing the public that you're different.
I think Limbus Company removes the mask and they're just a little silly guy. I feel like if any company are the good guys, it's Limbus. I think you remove the mask and they're just a silly guy.
You're better than the other ones. I'm not like these other gacha companies. We're different. Nah, I think you're all the same. But what I do believe in is supporting the hungry developers. And I do.
Kuro Games? I don't know, man. Sometimes they be doing some crazy ass shit, I ain't gonna lie. Like sometimes, like, come on. They had to have known those anniversary rewards were shit. Come on.
Do think Black Beacon is a hungry developer. And I want to share my philosophy with my community as well as anybody else who watches this video, because I think it's a very important philosophy that you could live by while you consume gacha content from these devs. Here's the thing, guys. The difference between the developers of all these different gacha games and how they're going to treat their community is based off of the hunger meter.
Why do you glaze it but never stream it? Why do you talk so well about your friends but then never hang out with them? Because I appreciate the time that we had, and I will appreciate the times that I will have. However, I don't need to spend every waking moment with the things that I hold dear. I hope that makes sense. I can enjoy something, talk well of it, and not want to play it 24/7. Isn't that right, Eggy? Like, even though I love Eggy, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to kick him out of my bedroom at night because he's annoying. And he wants to sleep on his dad's face. And it's annoying. And I love Eggy with my whole heart. He's my favorite thing in the whole world.
Hungry are they? Are they starving? That's back here. Do they got some food on the table? Starting to experience a bit of contentment, a bit of complacency? Or do they got a fucking buffet? Is food falling off of the table to the point where they're able to sandbag, milk the cow, Hoyoverse level? That's the difference between what you're going to get in terms of a good consumer experience, feeling like the devs are being attentive or the team's being attentive, or if you're just being ignored and they're just starting to sandbag because they know they got you by the balls. Hoyoverse community, kudos.
Yeah, I'll be real. For me, as a man who's very open to options, and as a man who wasn't exactly overwhelmed, I was quite whelmed with the gameplay of BBC, I don't really have any reason to want to give these devs a second chance when I can just go to devs that I've never had to give a chance to at all. So yeah, I don't really see any reason to go towards Black Beacon. That being said, if you enjoyed it, I see no reason to stop players from enjoying now what they enjoy, but obviously be cautious or have caution when pursuing the long-term enjoyment of these games.
Getting there too. In fact, they might already be there. Once you understand that philosophy, then you don't really look at these things emotionally. You really just look at them from a business standpoint, and you look at them from what are they going to offer standpoint. Yeah. I don't care about like if it was true that they did what they did. I care about action and results. And I know for a fact that when a gacha company is hungry, you get the best fucking content. And when a gacha company is full, you get the worst goddamn content. You get the lackluster content. I've seen it happen time and time again.
Fucking true. Huge true, bro. When a gacha game is sucking ass, you are getting so much free shit. But when their rev report is up, man, you'll be thanking God every half a pull you get.
I just looked at the Wuthering Waves 2.3 total anniversary rewards for 2.3. And you get 100, I'm looking at it right here in front of me. You get 100 Radiant Tides shared amongst the entire patch. The entire patch. That means half of those aren't even allocated towards Zani. You have to get them on the next half. So if you want to go for Zani as a complete free-to-play player, you get damn near a quarter of the resources for the anniversary to get that Zani in this one patch. I mean, woo! Kudo Games best though. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's one of those situations where...
Out of curiosity, just to play devil's advocate, is there a gacha game where every single time a new character comes out, you can grind and get it in full? Like, does that game even exist? Because I know no Hoyo games do it. No Kuro games do it. Wait, PGR? Not among the big four? Nikkei, PGR, probably about to nowhere. Brown does too? Really? So you can grind every patch and get a guaranteed pull or a guaranteed new banner unit every single time. Limbus, 100%. I can believe Limbus. I can believe Limbus. I guess that's true. I guess it becomes so brainwashed in the reality that that's never going to be possible. That's I figure that other games do that 100%. Obviously, they're not in the same like playing field as like the big Hoyo games, but that is very true to the point of Smack that once these gacha companies are full, they're not going to give you shit.
People just think all of a sudden that Black Beacon's the Antichrist and that it's so much worse than all these other gacha companies. Guys, they're all the fucking same, man. The difference is, how hungry are they? Are they on the ladder? They're starting to climb now. They're starting to get up there and get them nutrients going. They're eating at the steakhouse now in terms of how much money they're making. Oh, now we can ease up a bit. Now we're gonna start giving a filler patch every other patch. Boys, you do what you want to do, okay? I'm not here to convince you to reinstall Black Beacon. I just want you to understand the ideology of a fucking adult. The hungry devs are the best ones to invest in until they're not hungry anymore. Then you got to start fucking bringing them back to ground zero. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the money back in the pocket, bro. Put the fries in the back. But the hungry devs are the ones that are going to deliver you a lot more bang for your buck.
No, I absolutely agree with Smack here. The problem is that usually the devs that are hungry are ones that have really shitty games. And so while they may be giving out a ton of rewards, there's a reason why they're having to give you so much free rewards. It's just hard. At the end of the day, all gacha games are shit, and that's the truth. And you should be playing Clair Obscure Expedition 33 instead.